Today, we're diving into the key ideas from the book Software Architecture, The Hard Parts. And let me tell you, this book isn't about giving you easy answers. Not at all. Instead, it's about providing a way to think about and tackle the really messy, complex problems every single software architect runs into sooner or later.
So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute heart of the matter. When a developer gets stuck, what do? They pop up an appraiser, hit Stack Overflow, and usually find a solution. But for an architect, it's just not that simple. So why is that?
Well, it's because there are no silver bullets. The legendary computer scientist Fred Brooks pointed this out ages ago. When you're dealing with complex systems, there just are no magic fixes, no one-size-fits-all answers that are going to solve your deepest, most fundamental problems. Think about it this way. Every single architectural challenge is totally unique. It's a specific mix of your company's culture, your team's unique skill set, the tech you're already using, and your business goals. The idea that someone else has solved your exact problem with all its quirks and history, and then wrote a blog post about it, the odds are practically zero. And that, right there, that uniqueness, that's what makes architecture so incredibly difficult. You can't just go look up the best practice, because what's best for a company like Netflix could be an absolute disaster for your company. It forces you to think in a completely different way.
Okay, so if there are no best practices, what is an architect supposed to be aiming for? This is where the book introduces a really powerful mental shift. It's about letting go of the search for perfection. See, the goal is not to create some kind of mythical, perfect system where performance and scalability and security and cost are all cranked up to the max. That's a total fantasy. In the real world, all of those things are constantly fighting with each other.
Right. So if perfection is off the table, then what is the job? What should architects be trying to do every single day? And here it is. This is the absolute core idea of the book. An architect's real job is to analyze all the trade-offs, to understand exactly what you're gaining and, just as importantly, what you're sacrificing, and then choose the path that has the least worst set of compromises. Now, to make this idea less abstract, let's get into the book's main case study. It's about a fictional team they call the SysOps Squad at a company called Penultimate Electronics. And trust me, their problem is very, very real. So the SysOps Squad, they run this really profitable support business. But the software it's all built on, it's this creaking, old, monolithic application. It's unreliable, customers are getting angry, and every single time they try to fix something or add a new feature, it's a huge gamble. The entire business is at risk because of this broken architecture. This diagram here, this is what their problem looks like. It is a classic big ball of mud. It's a system where any clear separation between the different parts has just dissolved over time, usually because they're all tangled up in the same database. Everything is so tightly connected that you can't change one thing without worrying about breaking 3 other things you didn't even know were related. And this brings up a huge question for any architect. How do you stop your own system from turning into a big ball of mud? How do you make sure that the beautiful design you draw on the whiteboard is the design that actually gets built? Well, one of the fastest ways to end up in that mud pit is something called a cyclic dependency. Here's how it works. Component A needs something from B. Component B needs something from C. And then, component C loops all the way back and needs something from A. Now they're all locked together and you can't pull them apart. Once you have these cycles, you've lost all sense of modularity. You can't just take component A and use it somewhere else, because you've got to drag B and C along with it. Your ability to evolve and change the system just grinds to a halt. So, to fight this kind of decay, the book introduces a really powerful tool, the architecture fitness function. Basically, it's an automated test, but it's not testing your business logic. It's testing the health and the integrity of your architecture itself. You can think of it like a pilot's pre-flight checklist, but for your code. It gets built right into your deployment pipeline, and it can automatically check for things like those nasty cyclic dependencies. If a developer accidentally creates one, the build fails, period. It's a guardrail that enforces your architectural rules automatically. Okay, so tools like fitness functions are amazing for helping us manage all this complexity. But to really use them well, we need a better way to think about what these architectural problems really are. See, the hard parts of architecture are almost never a single clean problem. They're more like an entangled braid of competing forces. You've got performance, security, scalability, data consistency. They're all woven together, and they're all pulling in different directions. A key force inside this tangled braid is what we call coupling. To put it simply, two parts of a system are coupled if a change in one forces you to make a change in the other. It's the glue that holds everything together. Or sometimes it's the tangled knot you just can't undo. And this brings us to the most crucial skill of all. Before you can make a good decision, you have to untangle the braid. A great architect has to carefully pull apart these different coupled forces, analyze them one by one, and only then make a decision with a crystal clear view of all the trade-offs involved. So, in the end, this completely reframes the architect's job. You're not searching for some perfect, elegant solution that doesn't exist. You are a master of trade-offs, a skilled decision maker who can expertly untangle complexity to find that least worst path forward. And that leaves us with one final thought for you. What are the hard parts you're trying to untangle in your own work right now?